What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 25 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have taken the Black Pyramid of Nagash and destroyed the Sentinels faction. Not that they're really a faction, more like placeholders to hold the Pyramid of Nagash or defend it. That is pretty good for us, though. That also means that we now have no enemies in the nearby vicinity. We do still have to go after Thorek, of course, but that may take some time. Speaking of enemies, Mors is basically dead. They still have the Desolation of Nagash and a couple of territories. I thought they had a couple of territories, yes, up here near Barak Var, but they'll be gone shortly. We did try to move their settlement to the Forest of Decay here, and I'm gonna hope that they don't get killed up here, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? Finally, it seems that the Ghost of Pahwaks are basically dead as we destroyed Oxyodal's last main army here, and we should be able to take him out for good at the Godless Crater within the next 2 turns, as it'll take us a little bit of time to get there. So good luck with that, Fire. While we're here, can we get anything in this army that would be useful? I mean, we could get more pink horrors if we wanted, but there was a reason we didn't in the first place. Mostly because we built a pile of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with halberds to deal with all the large units that the lizards come with, though I suppose it does beg the question as to what type of units will the Cult of Sotek be using. Will it be similar or the same to the to Oxyodal's units? I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll hold off on doing anything too different with this army for now. The pink horrors aren't that great against the dinos, after all, and they're not super good against the Saurus either, as the Saurus's shields just prevent them from doing too much damage. Some flamers would be good here, but it'll take several turns to get them on the field. And I also don't want this army to be identical to Kairos's army, that's for sure. Well, we'll figure it out as we go, shall we? Actually, Fire, do you need any levels? What do we have here, by the way? We got 4 points, we got the Fires of Change, and we could keep going through Accursed Horrors. There's also potential for going through this line into Called by Change as fast as possible, just to reduce the upkeep here. You know, I'll think about it. It's not super necessary right now. Also, speaking of magics, let's see. Okay, never mind. We're actually good in that light. Fine, then. Now, are there any upgrades to do with our very, very limited amount of cash remaining? Probably not a lot. There is one thing that we may want to do, however. Oh, wow, Lamia. You need some stuff, don't you? Okay, let's start with the gem mine and the hidden library there for the money and such. And we will need to wall everything up here to the best of our ability, because the dwarfs are nearby and they are not super fond of us. Okay, so the other thing that I was thinking was Garrulus. Now, Thorek isn't going to attack the Sunken Cairnarch, there's no way. But these guys, maybe we can get an ambush going on them. Let's put you here, and let's see. Oh, he actually wants to go after us. So if we go into an ambush, he may not try to attack us, though they are still at war with Skarbrand. Would they try this? They do have a Wa. What we could try is move up here without ambush. You know what, let's try ambushing. I want to actually see what these guys do. Would they actually abandon Galbaraz if the ambush succeeds? I guess we'll find out shortly. Well, actually, it's a big if, because the ambush isn't super likely to succeed from past experience, but who knows? Who knows? Never-Ending Chasm, you can... Where are you, incidentally? Do you need walls? Oh, this place. Yeah, let's get rid of this. It's gonna need walls. It's just too near to the Cult of Sotek. Actually, speaking of the Cult of Sotek, changing of the ways, we can't reveal faction intentions on you. Is there anybody we want to reveal Shroud on? Karazakarak again next turn, I guess. And reveal faction intentions is also going to be gone in Karazakarak, but we'll reveal Shroud on them next turn. You know what, let's just do it now. It's not that much of a difference. Just reset it. Oh, you can't do it while it needs a reset? Damn. I wish that you could just force it to reset, essentially. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's end the turn then, and let's hope that this ambush works out while we move Kairos to Thorek, or maybe actually Iber to Thorek. If, for example, we only get one shot at it. Wait. Would you suffer attrition right beside the Black Pyramid? No, I don't think you would. You know what? Let's move Iber here. Like so. Because now I'm thinking, if only one of them manages to kill Thorek, it's probably better that Iber does it, because the +3 armor piercing buff isn't very useful in Kairos' army, as he's going to be primarily range, and that's for melee. Yeah. Alrighty, well, we'll skip the rest of this, and then we'll see if Varag decides to go for Garrulus. And of course the camera immediately moves away, so we can't see whether the ambush gets foiled or not. I am willing to bet that they would be willing to fight us in the field, but their giant pile of trolls is kind of iffy for our Forsaken to fight. Ah, yeah, they didn't go for it. I'm willing to bet the ambush was foiled. Oh, only 97 factions here. And yep, ambush was foiled. And of course the enemy hero moved right up to us as well. Disc training, yes, that's great for you. Now, would we be able to fight this? Well, the regular trolls aren't as much of an issue. The stone trolls are. Obviously, the pump wagons would need to be stopped by something. I suppose our spawn could deal with those. There's also the giant pile of enemies out of the Wa to consider. You are a Lord of Tzeentch as well, but you're the only caster that we have here, so you are relatively limited. And you do have Pink Fires of Tzeentch, but you don't have the Infernal Gateway or Tzeentch's Firestorm. It would be nice to get rid of this army, though. Also, I wonder how long the Wa will last. Also, I don't particularly care about taking Galbaraz, but there may be a reason to do so. You know what? Let's give it a try. You are going to go into encamp stance, or wait. Would encamp stance give us more melee attack. So you're gonna do this, and you're gonna move away from the Sunken Cairnarch. For the reason that this guy will probably be willing to attack us then, and I think the only reason he's not is because he's afraid of Skarbrand. Looks like Thorek is going north somewhere. Kairos, can you go find him? Catch him? Stick him in a stew? You'll have to suffer attrition to move this way, won't you? Pretty much everywhere, in fact. Yeah, alright, well, it is what it is. We may want to try to kill him without completely destroying the army. Oh, look, Grisguts is here. Actually, that probably means we should put Vindex into the Black Pyramid. You will also suffer attrition, but you're gonna have to follow. Do we move in different directions, though? Well, I suppose they can both teleport over the, over this portion of the desert. Nobody's at war with us here, so we're not super concerned. Plane of Tuskers, let's get you upgraded. Monoliths, yes, money. In fact, we'll do this systematically shortly. Let's get everybody else moving. Iber is good. Fire, you need to destroy the Godless Craters, so let's move you, let's say, there. And then attack it next turn. Neverending Chasm, you're gonna immediately need walls. Mount Athull. You are also going to need walls. You will be able to upgrade, but I think it's more imperative that we get those walls up and running, especially as you're not collecting money right now. So delete the lattice, replace with walls. Otherwise, there's a good chance you will die. Sinhal Monolith, you can have your tusks. Looks good. And in terms of units, okay, you guys are all good now, right? You're stuck for another turn for free grimoires, which means we apply our cash. Alrighty. Well, let's spend that. Black Pyramid of Nagash, you can get something, and that is going to be... You know what? Let's switch you out to... Let's switch you out to Egrims. Honestly, we're not going to spread enough corruption here. It's not gonna matter. It's not really worth it. Especially until we switch you to Dimensional Cascade, which we could do. But there's also not that big of a reason to bother with it. Otherwise, we can go for... I mean, I was going to build a bunch of military buildings here, but for now, let's go for the Hidden Library and the Web of Secrets, and then we'll... Well, actually, wait, we wouldn't have room for all of that, would we? Assuming that you two get replaced by... No, we'd still have room for 2 military buildings here, that's fine. Not gonna collect a bunch of money from here, but whatever. Sudenberg, we need to Thaumaturgic Fisher you. You also probably want to switch to Demonic Fortress or Bastion or whatever when you can. And the same thing probably goes for Telako, although we've built most of the the infrastructure stuff already, so it doesn't matter that much. You are going to get a Web of Secrets. We're going to ignore the timber in favor of the money. Money's probably more valuable, rather. Lamia, you need upgrades and plenty of them. Here, and walls against the dwarfs. Actually, that reminds me, while we're here, let's go for that changing of the ways, and let's get that faction intentions on the Cult of Sotek. And then let's reveal Shroud on the Karazakarak dwarfs. There we go, see what they're doing. Alrighty, and Moors... 1, 2... Okay, you're down to 2 settlements on this side of the map. You'll be dead shortly. Okay, also, how many turns until we can transfer a settlement? 6. Oh, wow, okay. It'll take a while. And we don't have enough grimoires to really do anything else here, so we can just ignore that for a little bit. Okay, back to building. Carrick Zorn, I wouldn't want to lose, yeah, but ooh, Teotiqua, anything buildable here? I think just military stuff. I mean, I guess we could start on the cheaper military buildings. Like so and like so. And let's upgrade you while we're at it. And you know what, let's get the wall up. I know it's expensive, but, well, to lose a tier 5 because, you know, some random rogue army or beastman army appears in the middle of your territory, it's just unconscionable, so I'd rather not even give them the opportunity. Get that puzzle makers, and oh, I just realized we're still trying to move towards the tier 5 building here, so we need 7,500 next turn to upgrade that immediately, which we will have, so that's fine, I guess. Alrighty. Let's ignore the rest of that, let's end the turn, and let us see whether Varag decides to go for Garrulus. I'm willing to bet that he will. Can we switch any items here? Because this is going to be an iffy battle. You can cause terror with a void armor. You know what, go for it. Cause terror with your void armor. May be able to get some value out of it. You have the Trickster's Shard, which is garbage. Scroll of Shielding, Sword of Striking. Yeah, we really just don't have enough items. At all. And this is one of the main reasons I really want the Thorek upgrade. Razor Standard, Rampager Standard. Razor Standard is going on Iber, so you don't need it. Alchemist is kind of useful for you. Standard of Discipline, I guess. Rampager Standard is probably going to go on Iber as well. Yeah, alright. Well, let's do this. And let's hope that they attack. And there's no changing in the ways that we could do to annoy this army, can we, in some way? Reveal faction, force rebellion. No, it doesn't look like it. Alrighty, here we go. Garrulus, let's hope we get you a very nice battle here. Wait, Karnath the Great Gouger? This guy basically called himself Korn? Okay. Military alliance, no. The defensive alliance will suffice, as you will be down to 1 province. In fact, the defensive alliance may become a liability shortly. Bloody Hands? Yes, alright, they're willing to fight this at least. Oh wow, their Wa has a frickin' Ragnarok? You gotta be kidding me. That's really annoying. This army is terrible at dealing with giant units. We'll have to try to deal with it with the blue fire spam, as that's pretty much the only option we got here. Ouch. Alrighty, let's put the Standard of Discipline on, let's say, you, and let's do this cinematically.
Kill every last one of them. Let them plead for the mercy of Tzeentch.
Ah, we're fighting under coordinate skies this time, so let's hope that we can live up to that and get a nice orky slaughter going. Now this should be a pretty interesting battle. The enemy has quite a nice army, and we are fighting with our weakest. On top of that, the enemy army is particularly suited to fighting ours. They have a decent amount of range, they have artillery, they have a lot of larger models like those trolls, and plenty of those, and the pump wagons and the various cav, on top of the fact that they have a full wall coming in with the lava Ragnarok and more large models out of the lava spiders. Obviously, Forsaken not going to be very effective against all that, so we'll see if we can pull this off. Also, this map looks kind of cool. I like all these mountains in the background, and it looks like there's bigger mountains in the further background as well. Although I'm pretty sure these things aren't actually called mountains. I don't know what to call these formations, but yeah. Alrighty, well, we're going to open up the battle by annoying the enemy with magics, as we tend to do. It looks like they're going to be waiting for their Wa to arrive on the field before attacking us. Also, I just realized, did I say episode 25? I think this is episode 24. Well, whatever. Not all that important. Yeah, so the enemy was going to arrive and they're going to attack us together. We could have deployed closer and tried to attack immediately, but I think that would have been a worse idea. Mostly because, well, we have a nice little cliff formation here, so a rock essentially here and another rock here. I do wish they weren't all the way at the edge of the map, but the nearest one would have been here, and this would have put half our force in the water, and I really don't like that. On top of the fact that the enemy artillery would have been able to range us from that. Well, regardless, we're going to continue our blue fire spam. I was hoping to at least be able to bring a single stone troll model down, but no dice. Looks like the AI actually used the Scepter of Stability on the trolls as soon as the blue fires hit them to reduce that magic, or increase that magic resistance by quite a lot, or spell resistance now. Oh well, they can't spell resist every single model, and we will continue annoying the enemy. And I don't know what they're doing here. Oh, they for some reason decided to go towards our Chaos Furies, but not towards our main units, who incidentally are not hidden. They're just standing there. Now that the Wa is on the field, maybe they're just changing their formation before they attack. Well, once again, the longer they take, the more time we will have to burninate them. Though speaking of burnination, I did try a fair few amount of blue fires of Tzeentch at the lava Arachnarok spider, but the lava Arachnarok spider has a ton of fire resistance, which makes this not super effective. Just like using fire against phoenixes. Man, imagine being a Tzeentchian army fighting against an army that's just made up of, like, phoenixes and various lava spiders. Fairly unlikely composition, mind you, and maybe like iron drakes or something like that as well. All that fire resistance would be pretty good for countering us. And the enemy's still milling around. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing, but, well, if they're going to take time, we're going to continue casting the occasional spell. Of course, this isn't Kairos, so we're not going to be able to do nearly as much damage to this army as we would with a better caster, but at least we can do a little something. As much as we can before the enemy tries to attack us, and on the bright side, this does mean we have enough casts to get a Firestorm of Tzeentch going. Of course, the enemy AI is, well, enemy AI. The AI is immediately going to move out of the field, but hopefully this will do at least some damage to it. And force it to come in and attack us as well. More fires coming down, more Firestorms, and they're all out of it now. Actually, that really didn't do much. And we're getting a lot more value out of our fire. The AI is just, it's just too ready to move out of that area of effect as soon as it pops down. Oh well, not a big deal. We can continue this until we run out of mana. Speaking of mana, we have about 100 magical reserve, or something along those lines, which is decent, but it's not crazy. We also won't be able to kill off their lord or their models this way, so, or their large models like their trolls or their Arachnarok, so that's obviously going to be a problem. Ah, look at all those units in a blob. There we go, looks like not a lot of deaths, but at least the HP goes down on the Orc Boys and the several other units. And they're still refusing to attack. I don't know what is up with this AI. In fact, let's do this. I'm just gonna speed this up quickly. We've seen plenty of magic work go down, so we don't need to watch it further. I'm sure they will get annoyed eventually in the fact that I know that they do get annoyed eventually. I think possibly when we actually are nearly out of mana. Huh, and is our lord? No, he's still fresh, okay. I was just thinking that if he had become tired from all this. He has gotten hurt from the Spirit Leech spam though, and quite a lot. And I think that was the last of the fireballs from the... I forgot the name of the second fire thing. Or do you have a Ruby Ring of Ruin? I don't know. What I do know is that you're getting hit by yet another Spirit Leech. On the bright side, it looks like we're not the only ones using all our mana. The AI is too, and finally, they've gotten annoyed enough to attack us. And let's just see what the casualties are. So we've been able to reduce the enemy count by about 600 to 700 units, which is not horrible. Yeah, it's certainly not horrible. It's less than a quarter of their forces, however, so it's not as great as it looks, and on top of that, our magics are basically depleted, and the enemy troop count is still quite high. On top of the fact that we still don't really have an answer to their trolls. We weren't able to take out any of their larger units. So it'll have to be, you know, a good old-fashioned holding the ground, concentrating fire with our pink horrors, as well as having our Spawn of Tzeentch fight those trolls. Alrighty, and are we slowed down or no? This is just normal. Oh wow, I'm getting some screen tearing. Hopefully that's not visible on the recording. Why are these cav moving so slowly? Oh, there we go. And they're gonna charge some Forsaken. They don't have a lot of mass, of course, so they don't really send the Forsaken flying, and then we immediately countercharge those larger units with our own spawn, which should be able to rip up Wolf Riders without too much trouble. And the same will probably go for these Squig Herders as well, Squig Hoppers rather, as well, though together with the ranged units, those Forsaken on the flank are taking quite a bit of damage, but that's about normal. On top of that, we're finally getting some use for our Furies, who have moved alongside or into the back of the enemy force and have destroyed their single unit of artillery. So I guess they will have no use out of that. Enemy Lava Spider Riders once again moving forward, and they are taking damage, though I would imagine that they have similar types of fire resistances as the Arachnarok. So our fiery pink horrors, yeah, also not doing super great against them. But at the very least, there are regular Spider Riders and Orc Boar Boys nearby for us to get additional hits onto. And there we go. We've also moved our Forsaken, no, not our Forsaken, our Spawn forward to deal with the enemy Boar Boys, as well as some of those, once again, charging units, mostly to protect our Forsaken and our Chaos Warriors. But you can't protect them from everywhere or from every location. Here come the enemy Trolls, and they're going to be doing armor-piercing splash damage to us. And the enemy will continue firing all that range. We're going to try to focus down the enemy range, as we can see here, get those Spider Riders and those Archers gone. And the pink fires that we have remaining in terms of our remaining Winds of Magic are going to be working on the regular Archer units, while our pink Horrors work on the Spider Riders and stuff. At least we're getting a nice proper battle line. I never figured that we'd also be holding ground and acting defensively with the Forsaken army, but in this situation, it's very necessary. Also, I really don't understand why it took the AI like half the battle to actually move towards us. Very strange. Guess they're just cowardly orcs. They attack, but they don't really want to attack. Alrighty, over on this flank, we now have the Chaos Spawn anchoring the line, which will help out, but there are trolls hitting our poor Forsaken in the back, and our Forsaken don't really have a much chance against those, though they can destroy orcs and they can destroy gobos just fine with these larger units. And damn, they're annoying. Gotta love watching the Arachnaroks go to work, though. Really fun unit. And we're going to try to surround it with our weird spawn, plus our Lord's going to get a few hits in, though obviously, being a Sorcerer Lord, not the best fighter, and we will have to be careful here, especially as the Arachnarok will likely turn on him. And we're actually going to move away because he did take a couple hits from that Ragnarok quickly. His shield dropped and he lost a little bit of HP as well. We also have a second Firestorm of Tzeentch coming down on top of the enemy archers here, which are the main enemy unit that we want dead, combined with the fires from the Pink Horror. At the very least, this should destroy the archers, though it is taking quite a while to kill those spider riders, though a lot of them have finally gone down. Yeah, really could use a couple units of halberdiers in this army, I think. And the trolls are causing too much of a problem. And I guess the Ragnarok is as well, though to be fair, a Chaos Warrior unit against an Ragnarok is still probably going to have a tough time. Yet another Spirit Leech going on our Lord, gotta be careful about suffering the consequences of that and actually losing our Lord, who's now down to about 40% HP and dropping. Though now with those Spider Riders out of the way, we're getting a lot more mileage out of the Pink Horrors, who are now able to start destroying Airboys, Trolls, and other sorts of units. Our two flanks are starting to collapse though. The Spawn of Tzeentch are holding, but they're starting to drop in terms of HP, and the Chaos Warriors that we're holding here are in very bad shape. They're working against pump wagons, a Black Orc Big Boss, as well as trolls on top of all that, and do have limited support. Same sort of thing is going on over here with more trolls, more pump wagons, and us just barely holding on with the Spawn and this Forsaken unit, though these guys are probably going to have to abandon this portion lest they die. Otherwise, the Ragnarok is starting to lose HP, but we're starting to lose HP on the units that have been holding it as well. Honestly, at this point, it's still anyone's game, and the balance of power is still reflective of that. It's still very slightly in their favor, although it's almost 50-50. Our Furies are also working in the background this entire time to chase down any enemy units that are routing and not shattered, or are broken and are not shattered, to hopefully prevent them from coming back, as we really don't want that. Unfortunately, we only do have 2 units of our Furies, which means that they cannot kill enough to make sure that the entire army doesn't come back. The enemy did bring 40 units after all, and a lot of them are likely to come back. And the Spirit Leech going down on our Forsaken, and they're also going to be fighting some Orc Biggins here. Nice little fight, although we will be getting some support from our Pink Horrors, who should be able to do quite a lot of damage to those Biggins at least, as they are not nearly as resistant. Over on this side, it looks like finally the Ragnarok is wavering. Our Lord once again hitting it, our Weird Spawn still working at it together with the Forsaken, though both of these units, as we can see by the health, are basically dead. Looks like the balance of power is perfectly even now, or maybe even very, very slightly in our favor. I mean, considering the amount of enemy units that are routing, it's definitely starting to turn a little bit, but our melee line is nearly broken. Our Pink Horrors remain, but all of our melee units are basically down to their like 10 to 15% HP. So we do have to be careful, with the exception of I think one of the units of Chaos Warriors. Keep working at it, Pink Horrors. Our Forsaken that's sallied out here to fight those Orc Biggins are very much in trouble. Now some Trolls coming back after routing as well to add fire. But we can add their damage, whereas we can add fire to them and hopefully prevent them from coming back a second time. Our Forsaken are going to run away, or actually move away. They're not routing, I don't believe. Just to try to survive, though now the Trolls are moving forward and are going to go after our Pink Horrors. I've also turned off skirmish mode on all the Pink Horrors because we have no melee line remaining at this point. Over on this side, it looks like the enemy Black Orc Big Boss is still holding against those Spawn and the remnants of those Chaos Warriors, but at least he's tied up with what we've got going on there. And more Trolls are wavering over on this flank as they fight the Chaos Warriors, but we're now starting to move more and more units back. I don't want to take them off the field, even though they're all at like 10% HP or like 4 models on this particular spawn. They do still have barriers after all, and we could in theory send them back in if it comes down to it. Now the balance of power is now maybe 55% in our favor. What a glorious battle. I'm having an absolute blast here though. You gotta love close battles. And it does make sense considering this is frankly a pretty weak army on our part. But we just built it for fun because I wanted to use some Forsaken. I definitely should try to put some ringers in here to deal with a few things. Maybe a couple of soul grinders here would hit the spot just to anchor the line and for something to be able to fight those larger units. Alrighty, it looks like more of the enemy are routing, though the Black Orc Big Boss is still fighting. The enemy Lord still has to be taken care of. We tried Blue Fire Spam, but that didn't work, so we're going to have to try to do it the old-fashioned way. Our Lord is now going to start attacking him. I bet he's very jealous of that disc mount. Because all he's got is a little bit of a wolf. And for some reason we can't hear the sounds of our units fighting down here. I just realized that. Wait, has the entire battle been silent? Huh. Or is it just that particular location? No, these guys make noise as they attack. Okay, it must be in the center over there for some reason. But finally, the enemy break. It looks like with their lord having fallen, or probably just after that, I guess. Around the same time, the enemy army finally decides that it can no longer fight. The River Troll Hag is completely fine, but we weren't going to commit the resources needed to bring it down, although that was where all the Spirit Leeches were coming from. I guess that was quite annoying. She also had 15% fire resistance on top of that, and missile resistance. So yeah, that was just never gonna happen, and look at the damage we've taken. These two units of spawn down to 3 and 4 units. Most of our Forsaken nearly dead, our Cultists nearly dead, though I suppose we could have used a War Shrine here, and really only our Pink Horrors are fine, except this one unit that got kind of damaged. But obviously the Pink Horrors stayed back, and they did actually run out of ammunition. Every single one of them ran out. Damn. I guess everybody did their jobs at the very least. I'll be curious to see how much damage everything dealt out here. Alright, and just give chase, kill everything you can. It's obviously a Pyrrhic victory, but we are in friendly territory and in encamped stance on top of that, so we should be okay to heal at least a little bit here. Ah, what a glorious battle. I am so glad that we were able to force the enemy to attack us and that we took this kind of unnecessary battle in the first place. It was damn fun, especially because it was quite difficult. Pyrrhic victory, obviously, we didn't lose any units, though plenty of individual models did die. Unfortunately, that Lava Ragnarok Spider, and I definitely never considered how effective the Lava Orc units, the Lava Spider units, would be against Tzeentchian armies in particular. Being having that natural 40% fire resistance means they're basically immune to, well, not immune, but they're extremely resistant to basically anything we do. The blue fires are completely useless against that Ragnarok, and generally speaking, I do think this army needs at least a couple of anti-large units to help out. I'll have to figure out what exactly we want to do in that regard. Otherwise, the damage looks pretty good all across the board, especially with our infantry and our range units, so that's a nice mix. Let's see. Yeah, about the same for spawn. Everybody did roughly the same damage with the exception of the Furies, but they spent the entire battle chasing enemies around, which does make sense. Yeah, very nice. Very nice, everybody. Let us heal up, because who knows if we'll get attacked again. And what is this? What is this nonsense? Grisgut's Gutstabber wants to attack Iber's army, because you think that because Iber is in march stance, that this trash little army has some kind of chance against him. Okay. This army is so pathetic, I'm tempted to auto-resolve it, but considering we're gonna suffer attrition, that's a little bit risky. I guess we could fight this cinematically as well, though that'll be the end of the episode then, because these take longer cinematically. But it is always a pleasure to watch Iber work. Screw it, let's do this one cinematically as well. I'm tempted to auto-resolve it, but not with attrition here. Let's get to it.
Of course.
Alrighty, well, here we go again. The orcs just very attacky today, aren't they? Although this time, of course, their army is much weaker than the army that we faced off against previously, and they don't have a Wa to call their own either. Their basic army is weaker, and they don't have a Wa, plus a fairly limited number of units. Now, that said, it looks like they will be waiting for their reinforcements to arrive once again. They do have twice the amount of artillery that they did last battle, and maybe they'll actually get some use out of it. Once again, some Spirit Leeches coming down on Iber, and he immediately loses his shield and starts taking damage, so we do need to be a little bit careful there. And I also want to... Yeah, he has no missile resistance and no spell resistance at all. Might be good reason to change that up a little bit. I mean, obviously he needs good armor and a bunch of other stuff, because he's more fighty in general. But yeah, maybe we give him something to buff up some spell resistance. I have been noticing a lot of our enemies have been using those Spirit Leeches on us, and that's obviously not so great. Pink Fire spam coming down, but obviously not from Iber. He's mostly here to Blue Fire the enemy Lord, as well as... Oh, it actually did decent damage this time. Blue Fire the enemy Lord, as well as cast that free Gehenna's Golden Hound. Honestly, as long as the enemy isn't attacking us, that's more uses of our free Gehenna's Golden Hound spells. We can't complain too much. Unfortunately, our Chaos Sorcerer is also on a steed, though he looks damn nice on a steed as well. I like all the matching armor plates and the gold together with the blue. It's very nice. It's just the fact that we can't get good angles for blue fires from the ground, and it's a lot less maneuverable. There's another use of Gehenna's Golden Hounds, and it's certainly exploding some Gobbo archers, which are quite fragile. Glad that it didn't immediately move away. There we go. Yeah, pretty bad damage on that one unit. It didn't quite kill it, but well, if every single use of that would destroy at least one unit, or at least cripple one unit, that would be very much worth our time. Gonna continue the Blue Fire spell as well on that Goblin Great Shaman. Of course, that will only leave the River Troll Hag, which will mean that, well, it's more Spirit Leeches. I guess it's just a Spirit Leech day. But it's also apparently a coward day, because the orcs still refuse to attack. They're just going to sit here. In fact, I'm going to speed this up, and just like last battle, it looks like we will be trying to annoy the orcs to the best of our ability. Iber's starting to take quite a bit of damage, both from enemy ranged fire as well as spell work. And nope, I was about to say maybe we even kicked the anthill, but not quite yet. Maybe I don't understand something about the way the AI works, but is it not supposed to attack us when it is the aggressor in the battle? Has something changed about that in Game 3? I have absolutely no clue. Some of our army is actually hidden right now behind the hills, but it's not all of it, it's maybe half of it, and obviously in the last battle, no one was hidden. So it's not the fact that the enemy AI can't see us. Oh well. Oh well, on the bright side, the Blue Fire spam has basically killed the enemy Lord. He's gonna take maybe one more, although Iber is in very bad shape as well, taking just as many Spirit Leeches and ranged fire. We've also decided to move up our cavalry. If the enemy's just going to sit there, we may as well make some use of those. Haven't really gotten to watch these guys go to work too much in this particular campaign, so let's at least watch them kill a few of these boar boys out here. Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins, I believe. Nope, Savage Orc Boar Boys, not Biggins. And they will give chase, and we will throw our magical fire javelins right back at them. This is honestly more interesting than watching the this pass. Ooh, and the enemy artillery is gonna try to hit us as well. And it's actually shocking that they can catch up. They're 20 speed slower at 70 speed compared to the 90 of our Marauder horses. But yeah, this is skirmish mode being garbage. These guys were in skirmish and told to attack rather than me manually controlling them, and I was hoping that the skirmish mode would be enough not to have to deal with this, considering the fairly large disparity in speed, but apparently they did catch up, which meant a few of our own units either died, not many granted, but a few of them died or otherwise caught a few hits from their allies. On the bright side, it looks like this enemy unit is just about done. We're going to give chase and throw a few more javelins their way. There we go, very nice. Might as well kill the unit for good, especially if we have to fight this army again, since I'm pretty sure, despite the fact that they're not attacking us, their army did, in fact, attack us. These are the most cowardly attacks I've encountered in a while. And as if the orc army would just sit, or both orc armies would just sit there and not even try to move forward. And there we go. Alrighty, looks like those units have been chased off, not quite destroyed, but certainly badly damaged. We've also gotten the enemy lured off the field. He, I don't believe, unfortunately died, but he did run away. And now we're going to continue working this. More Gehenna's Golden Hounds, more Pink Fire, whatever we can manage with the Winds of Magic we have remaining. And we're going to keep moving our cav up to continue annoy the enemy as well. Although, you know what? We've already seen this once in this episode. And frankly, it's just for some reason not as interesting as watching Kairos do the same thing. Mostly because Kairos can cast a lot faster and he has a lot more Winds of Magic and he can use a lot flashier spells at the same time. Whereas we have fairly limited access to that stuff here. Looks like the trolls are going to move in and we're going to try to move away, though the skirmish mode, once again, too slow. Never trust skirmish mode. There we go, at least a couple of our units will get caught that way. But those trolls will also run after taking about half damage, and we will continue hitting them in the back. Though unfortunately the enemy artillery has turned towards us, and will now start attacking our cavalry as well. I was hoping to try to kill the enemy pump wagons with our cav, but obviously this is going to be a lot more dangerous, especially as it seems that the Gabo rock lobbers are quite decent at damaging tier 1 infantry with, you know, very weak stats. Not super surprising, that. Yeah, damn, a single hit from that rock knocks down so damn many units, it's almost like a cannon. Good job to the rock lobbers. Anyway, now we're just gonna speed it up. Iber's very badly hurt because those spirit leeches just don't stop, and it's time to start moving the rest of our army forward, because otherwise this will last forever. I was thinking eventually the enemy would have to attack us, wouldn't they? But apparently not. Apparently they will be cowards till the end. Why attack if you're not gonna attack? I'd actually be curious, if we had run out the clock here, wouldn't this mean that we would have just gotten a free win? I mean, we didn't even have to move in at all. If only there was like a X20 speed or something like that, just so I could have tested that, just out of curiosity. Or would the AI have waited until like 3 minutes remain and then immediately attacked us? I have no idea. Just bizarre behavior. But anyway, here we go. Our main army has now moved forward. Of course, they've been taking damage from the enemy artillery this entire time because, well, we have to move up to them rather than them moving up to us, which is absolute nonsense and shouldn't have happened in the situation, but what can you do? We will have to adapt. Over in the background we have our screamers who are ready to hit the enemy artillery in the back, but we will also drop a Firestorm of Tzeentch on them as they are dishing out tons of damage. Really, it's probably the only unit in the enemy army that's going to do any kind of damage. Plus we have our Iridescent Horror hovering overhead, dropping occasional fireballs on them as well. And that, unfortunately, was not enough to destroy the crews, but not to worry, our screamers should be able to take care of it. Now the armies are engaged, though the enemy army is pretty badly beat up at this point, down to, what, about a quarter of their units, after all that spell work and such. We may be in march stance, but that's not going to matter when we have the better units in the first place. Plus they have the Gabos. I really just wanted to avoid the enemy artillery hitting our very slow-moving units. Fortunately, the artillery can no longer fire as our screamers have destroyed or otherwise engaged them. We also have Iber moving back into the fray, though he is hurt, together with the Marauder horses who are chasing down pump wagons and are getting ready to hit any enemy units that actually rout. And just like that, it does appear that the enemy army has routed and didn't really survive much contact with our side here. And away they go. Ooh, I love watching those mantas just glide down, very gracefully so. Before, you know, ripping things apart. Yeah, I have no idea what happened with this battle or with that last battle. Why the AI is behaving as it does. Sometimes I just don't get the AI. And if anybody can explain to me what happened here, please do, or in the other battle. Are these bones, or are they... Yeah, no, it looks like they're vertebrae. Oh, nice. Some kind of giant dragon. That's actually a very big skeleton. Maybe something less... No, but that's... I have no idea what that is. It's way too big, that's the thing. Father of Dragon Ogres, well, probably not that big, but... still very big compared to regular unit size. Anyway, there we go, a close victory, though we didn't actually take much damage. Iber really, and the 2 units of horsemen that got hit by those artillery were really the only things that took any kind of damage. Our losses should be pretty minimal, but I suppose we did lose most of our ammunition on our horses, as well as all of our magics, plus Iber got hurt, so the game decided it was a close victory. But otherwise, it's fine. Though it does leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because the AI didn't want to attack us, damn it. Alright, I feel like I'm going completely insane with these 2 battles here. Aren't the AI supposed to be attacking us? Was this perhaps an... No, it wasn't an underway interception because it wasn't in the underway, and we were march stance, so we can't initiate battles. So what the heck is going on? I don't get it. Why won't the AI attack us? Why did they sit back and do nothing when they're supposed to be moving towards us? It's very, very strange. Either way, we're gonna have to heal up rather than take the money because, well, we're in attrition territory, so we're gonna do that. Got a free Lichbone Pennant out of it, which, frankly, not super useful for a Tzeentch faction, but at least it's something. Huh. Well, on the bright side, we did destroy now several of the Bloody Hands army, so this should considerably weaken the faction. Garrulus has himself perfect vigor and additional campaign movement range as well. That's nice for him. A free Gambler's armor. Ally mission successful. Yay, I guess. And mission issued that is... Wait, is that mission issued and unsuccessful immediately? And where the heck is Thoric going?
I think not.
We're supposed to be chasing him down, too. Oh, although Kairos could... Nah, he can't teleport to him. Can't go that far. Anyway, unfortunately with that, we are out of time. Very, very much out of time, because those battles took quite a while, especially waiting for the AI to frickin' do something. Very bizarre.
You know now.
I'm gonna have to go back over the video to see whether these guys actually attacked us. But, I mean, these guys definitely attacked us. I mean, the ones outside Galbaraz definitely attacked Garrulus, and... they definitely just sat around not attacking. Well, a very weird, bizarre, I guess, AI behavior today. We'll see if it continues next time, but once again, we'll chalk it up to Tzeentch doing Tzeentch things. Speaking of Tzeentch, stay tuned for more as we head off into the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for a friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.